waiting for us to get this information to you. I'm Chief Moore of the Weare Police Department. I have Special Agent Ferguson out of the Boston office, Captain Hebert, who's with the Weare Police Department, and Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Bridgman, also out of the Boston office. Special Agent in Charge Ferguson is going to give a briefing, and I'll give a safety overview after that. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Again, thank you for your patience. My name is Jim Ferguson. I am the Special Agent in Charge for ATF out of the Boston office, which covers New Hampshire. I'm here to explain some of the details of what's happened between last night and today. Last night at approximately 6 p.m. there was a device that was detonated. Following that, early this morning, there was another device that was detonated. We are investigating both of those incidents along with the Weare Police Department, the New Hampshire State Police, and the FBI. It is our goal at this point to make sure that the public understands that at this time we do not believe that there is any public safety issue. These incidents that took place in a place that did not were not heavily populated. No one specifically appears to be targeted at this time, nor does any one location or any specific thing appear to be the target of these incidents. The victim of today's incident that took place early this morning happened to see a smoking device, pulled his vehicle over to investigate. As he approached the device did detonate, which then caused a piece of that device to strike him in the head, causing a minor injury. He is fine at this time, and we do not believe that he was the target of this specific detonation for the bombs. ATF has set up a tip line. At this point, we are seeking any additional information relating to these incidents, to include any video footage of the main roadways in and around the area of these two incidents, and that those incidents can be called into the ATF tip line, which is 888 ATF tips. And that information will be routed to our agents, who will then be able to follow up and obtain that video footage to determine if there's any additional information to go on. At this time, I'd like to turn it back over to Chief to provide a little bit more information about the community and his thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, Special Agent Ferguson. Basically, we have a motto here with our community: if you see something, say something. That's very important in this case. These aren't, as the Special Agent mentioned, these aren't devices intended to hurt anyone from what we're observing in our initial investigations, nor are they intended to cause property damage. They're being thrown on the side of the road and then going off. It's unfortunate for our victim this morning. He observed the device and approached it. We're just reminding the public to call us if you see something, so we can investigate and contact our associates so we can take the appropriate law enforcement action. Any other questions?
How would you describe these devices? Are they bombs? The other gentleman told us they were PVC-type bombs. How would you describe the devices?
Yeah, at this time we're not putting out any information about the devices themselves due to the ongoing investigation.
Are you able to explain if you've ruled out the person in the van there that saw the item? Were you able to rule him out? I know he was here. They brought the van in. Were you able to? Yeah,
as far as the victim, is that who you're referring to? Yeah, the victim has been extremely cooperative. At this time, we don't believe that he has any association with the planning of that device.
Special Agent in Charge, could you just take the mic for a second?
Sure.
At this point, so does this just appear to be some sort of a random act, like someone who's playing a prank in town?
Again, as far as the motive surrounding this, we're not sure. Again, because of where they were placed, the proximity to anyone or anything being so remote, we don't believe that there was any sort of intent to destroy anything. So as far as the motive, we don't want to speculate, but at this time we don't believe that it was to actually cause harm or damage to anything in specific.
Could it have caused harm? The man was in some apartment. If somebody had been closer, how close would you have to be to have been physically harmed by the devices?
I mean, as far as the blast radius, it was there was debris found at least 30 yards away, so it certainly could have caused somebody some significant damage. And to that end, what I would like to say from a public safety aspect is, if you do see anything smoking, do not approach it. It is certainly a safety hazard, and we want to make sure that everybody is safe.
I understand there was no intended target in that moment. Is it possible that there were intended targets and this person maybe changed their mind or walked it back?
With the devices being placed at the two locations and there being no actual relationship to those, to anyone in particular or anything in particular, at this time we don't know, but I'm not going to speculate or say that there's not.
Are you able to say if there were similar type of devices from what you found at both scenes?
They are both similar, yes.
Were they remotely detonated? Can you tell if they had any remote detonation possible? Or
At this time, it's too early to say whether or not. We're still trying to put the pieces together to determine exactly what those components were.
Can you say if you have substantial physical evidence that was left at either one of the sites to examine, or is it just...
Yes, no, we definitely have physical evidence to examine, for sure.
And you're saying that they were placed there, they were thrown there. How did they get there?
Again, to the best of our knowledge, they were certainly put there. As far as whether they were placed versus thrown, we don't know at this particular time.
And do you have a message to the person responsible, or the people that are doing this, that are building these crude devices?
Again, these are obviously serious devices that can cause serious harm. And so I would certainly encourage them that if it is something that they are looking to do, that it is illegal, and that ultimately we are looking to determine who is causing these, these detonations, and would encourage them to stop immediately and turn themselves in.
It's not right next door, but former President Trump is in Manchester today. Was that a thought coming into this? Is that something that was being considered?
Out of a matter of pure precaution, we let the Secret Service know, but at this time we have no information that suggests that these incidents were tied to that visit at all.
You were dispatched mainly because it's an explosive device.
Yes.
Please tell you.
Yes.
Does the timetable tell you anything, that one was at 6 o'clock at night, one was at 7 o'clock in the morning? Does that mean anything?
I mean, I'm sure that once we get down to it, that it has some meaning. But as far as what it is, I certainly wouldn't want to speculate.
And you don't think there's a threat to the public when there's two explosive devices in two different areas of town?
I don't believe that there is a specific threat. I don't believe that these were done in a method by which any one person was targeted or anyone or anything was. But absolutely, the devices are dangerous, and that's why I encourage anyone to see anything, whether it be smoking or whether it resemble a destructive device, to call the police and get a safe distance away.
Keep saying explosive devices. Are you considering these bombs? I mean, is that what they are?
They are definitely bombs.
Chief, are you increasing patrols in the area because you just don't know at this point, or what's happening to keep the community safe now?
So no increased patrols. Patrols as regular. With obviously we're going to be on the lookout for individuals, and in a community this large, we really rely on the community's eyes to put us at the correct locations to try to investigate suspicious activity. So that's why we try to have an enhanced presence on social media to let them know what's going on, what to look out for, and what to contact us about, so we can take appropriate follow-up action. Weare is a very large town, and we have a police force that can't cover the whole town, obviously, at one time. So we're going to be out there, but we're going to need the public's help in identifying this individual.
Special agent in charge, there's, you keep saying to look out for certain things. Can you kind of describe what are the things people should be looking out for? I know there's a lot of debris on the roadway, and
So it's not debris. If you see something suspicious that looks unusual, you contact us and we'll follow up.
Give your first name, please.
Christopher.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks. Were you able to find any videos yet? Anybody sent anything that you're going through yet?
We are combing through videos. We are doing a canvas ourselves, but we do ask the public for help.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been listening to officials in New Hampshire giving an update from the ATF Boston Division and other law enforcement agencies about 2 explosions that happened in Weare, New Hampshire last night at 6 p.m. and then early this morning. They say that there is no public safety issue at the moment. The explosions happened in areas that are not heavily populated areas. No one specific person appears to be targeted. The only victim was a person who happened to be passing by, saw a smoking device pulled over, and when it detonated, that person received a minor injury to the head, but they are fine. They did not want to give any details or descriptions of these explosive devices, but they did ask the public if you should have any video footage of the areas on Sugar Hill Road where these explosions happened to call the ATF tip line, which is 888 ATF TIPS. WBZ reporter Laura Hafley did ask officials if it played into any of their decision-making because former President Trump is in New Hampshire today. Had they spoken to the Secret Service about these incidents, and they said that really didn't factor into their investigation because everything was under control by 6 a.m. But here's the map of where those explosions happened. So if you by any chance have any video footage, the ATF wants to hear from you. Again, 888 ATF TIPS. We'll update this story here on CBS News Boston and, of course, have the very latest with a report from WBZ's Laura Hafley on WBZ News beginning at 5 o'clock.